Hi grades 4. So today we are looking at our lesson 9 in your videos and you should be following angles. So it is Friday and we are looking at page 76 and page 77. And today we are going to talk about a different kind of angle. So here on our protractors, if you look at the bottom, this straight line, that is 180 degree, okay? That's a 180 degree angle, which means that this angle, when you draw a straight line, that's a 180 degree angle. Now look at this, okay? So they have given two, this is 90 degree, it's a right angle. Look at this, this is 180, it's a straight line, so it's 180. And if you look at this, so far we have seen that our angle symbol, the little circle, it's inside of the angle, right? It's inside. Right, so this is 90, this is 180. Now, do you notice that this is outside? This outside one means that this angle is 360 degrees. It is no longer going to be under 180. It's going to be bigger than 180. Watch this. So if I were to flip it and imagine there was another protractor on top of it, this would be a 360 because 180 plus 180, if I were to put another piece at the bottom, it would become 360 degree. So here, I'll show you. So watch this. There. Do you see it? So if this is 180 and this is 180, so 180 plus 180, that is 360. It's a complete circle. So these angles are 360. They are bigger than 180. This single protractor is 180. Double is 360. So let's look at these angles. So this angle is 270. Well, how did they get 270? So they, first of all, they measured it like normal angle, and then out of 360, they subtracted that, and that's how they got 270. So I'll give you an example. So flip to your workbooks, page 110 and page 111. So you need to flip to these pages, and this exercise is 4 pages long. So you need to complete this exercise. I'll do a couple of questions with you. So 2 questions with you, then you'll go ahead and do the rest on your own, okay? So on this page, page 110, it says the following angles are greater than 180, which means they are no longer just one protractor. But we only have one protractor. So what are we doing when we do not have 2 protractors? So here we go. This is how they did it. So if you look carefully, look at the markings. So what's telling me that this angle is 360? It's the outside circle. Okay? These are called reflex angles. Okay? So these are reflex angles. So we know right angle, it's 90 degree. We know acute angle, it's less than 90. We know obtuse, it is more than 90. We know straight, which is 180. Anything above 180 is a reflex angle. Okay, so these outside circles, they should tell you that we are now into reflex angles, which means we are not going to have 90, we're not going to have less than 90, we're not going to have 180, we're going to have more than 180. Does that make sense? So I'll do a couple with you. So here we go. What you need to do for this page is they have given you, so they've drawn this line straight. It's at 0, and then it comes down all the way to, if you look carefully, 160. Now, they just told us that these angles are not, they're going to be greater than 180. So this cannot be 160. So what you need to do is you need to read this angle. It's at 160. So you need to subtract 360, take away 160, and you are left with 200. So what's the size of this angle? 200 degrees. Does that make sense? I will explain one more time. So read the chart, read the scale. So this is at 0. This line is at 160. They've given us a clue that all of these angles are going to be greater than 180. If this is at 160, it cannot be 160. The answer cannot be 160 because it has to be something greater than 180, right? So 160. Now at the bottom, they have said angle B is 360 because it's a reflex angle. Remember, outside circle, it's a reflex angle. So 360 take away 160, that gives us 200, right? So the measurement of this angle is not 160, but 200. Does that make sense? Let's go ahead and do the next one. So the next one is they're asking, what's the size of angle C? Again, you go ahead and you look at, so this is at 0, doesn't matter. This one, we are reading over here, so 130. Again, we cannot go with a smaller number. We cannot go with acute angle readings, right? So we have to read at 130. So this is at 130. We cannot say it's 50. We have to pick the number in hundreds. So 130, because we are dealing with reflex angles, they are bigger than 180. So again, we go ahead and we read 130. So that means we should be subtracting 360, take away 130, right? And we are left with 230. That is the measurement of this angle C. Does that make sense? Okay, grades 4, I'll do 2 more, so these 2, and then you'll go ahead and do these on your own, because I just want to make sure that you're understanding, because it's new topic in angles, right? So let's go ahead and look at this one. So this one, again, we go ahead, this is 0, and this is 113, right? So it's 10, and then you read carefully, so 113. So 360, take away 113 because that's where the marking is, right? That's 113. And we are left with 247. So what's the measurement of this angle? Angle D is 247. Okay, now let's look at the last one, angle E. So angle E is coming right at 90 degrees. But we do know that it's still a reflex angle. It doesn't mean that now we can subtract it from a smaller number. We still have to subtract all of these angles from 360. So let's go ahead. So 360, take away 90. So our angle E is 270. Now, did you see all of these answers? They were greater than 190. That's what we need to remember, that we are working with reflex angles, which means it's like this. We are working with 360 degree angles. That means you start here, you end up all the way back here. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what you have to do. And that is what you're going to do on this page. You're going to read the angles and you're going to subtract them from 360. Your answer should always be bigger than 180. Does that make sense? Okay. Then we flip to the next page, and again, you are measuring, you are estimating, and look at if the circle is inside, then you are measuring the inner angle. Then you're not dealing with the reflex angle, then it's just one protractor. If the circle is outside, then you are dealing with our reflex angles, which means you will be subtracting. So if you measure it, and let's say it comes to 130 or something, you are going to subtract it from 360. That's what you're going to do. And then you'll subtract it and you'll get your answer. You'll do the same for this one. Measure it, see where your protractor lands, subtract it from 360. This one is a normal acute angle. This one's a reflex angle. Again, it would not be, I've already given to you, it's 100, so that means it's not right angle. It would fall under obtuse angle. So at the bottom of the page, you have to fill this table. It says estimate and then measure. So you're going to write down what you think would be their measurements, and then you're going to measure them correctly, and then you'll write down the correct answer. Okay, so that is your work for this week, for Friday. And the last page is they're asking you, draw an angle equal to 240. So how are you going to draw? Your outer would be 240, so your inner would be something. So 360, take away 240. Whatever you're left with, they're giving you a clue. That's what you'll draw on the inside. So 360, take away 240. That's the angle you're going to draw, okay? Draw an angle equal to 300. So if the outer is 300, the inner would be 60, because 360, right? Remember we were working with reflex angles? So 360, take away 240. That's the angle you're going to draw. So 360 take away 240, whatever number you get, you're going to put your protractor here, you're going to draw that angle. Same thing, if it's 300, you're going to put your protractor here, you're going to draw a 60-degree angle. Okay, does that make sense? They've given you a clue here. So your inner should be 60, your outer is going to be 300. Does that make sense? So that is your lesson for today, and I will see you next time.